practice bike anymore? Is that eliminated?
It's not eliminated.
Okay, good.
It's not eliminated. Do I look fat?
No, I'm so used to you jumping on right away and like zipping out. From a coaching perspective, you guys do have 4 people at new positions, even though you and Scott obviously are part of it. How big a factor is that when it comes to game management?
I don't think it will be, a huge thing. We're in the off season. You try to do so much to prepare. What if this happens? What if this happens? What if they come out, with 14 guys in the week B gap? And what if it's a hailstorm and you're going for 2 or whatever those scenarios are in a less emotional state. And then you try to be ready to make those calls on game day. And I think pretty much we're in really good symmetry right now. And obviously that remains to be seen.
Does the spring game allow you to test that in anything, or no? Just too loose?
Well, you could say too loose, but just it's a different deal. I mean, we're not going to have a come down to the wire, huge decision. Are we going to onside kick it and take a time? All those kind of things that come up. But those are the hypothetical things that you have to kind of play out beforehand.
Mark, over the weekend, there's a number of the spring games from the conference were broadcast, and they did some different things. Rich Rodriguez had fans call the last play. Have you entertained any idea of changing the format of the spring practice?
We're gonna have the media call every play. Yes. And we're gonna start that tomorrow. You guys are gonna have it'll be scripted, and then we'll blame it on you.
Do we get to use playmaker football?
Huh?
Playmaker football?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a couple little tiny, a little bit of a few of those spring games, and yeah, I was trying to figure out what the scoring systems were. You see some of them that were offense versus defense, and it's always tough this time of year because you want it to be as game-like as possible for everybody, for the fans, for the players. But sometimes those situations, whether it's injuries or whatever it is, that just you can't do that. But we'll make that call here in about a week and a half.
You're midway through spring practice. What's really stood out to you about this team?
Our effort's been great. Even today, we had one segment where the offense kind of dominated the defense, and the defense came right back and won the next drill. So I think just that resilience of younger guys, whether it's O'Shea Dunsmore, somebody that hasn't really played a bunch, to have a little adversity and then come back and just learn to bounce back from it. That's such a huge thing for these guys that haven't played very much yet. To just even in a practice format, that'll carry over.
And a lot of coaches and players say leadership is really what people are trying to identify during the spring. Other than Marcus and DeAnthony, are there players stepping up that you see as potential leaders this upcoming season?
I think Ifo has been a great leader for us. Tony Washington has done a really nice job. Avery Patterson at times has stepped up and done a good job. And so there's a lot of guys that have assumed that role. Yeah.
Where have you seen the largest improvement offensively and defensively this spring?
Wow. I haven't even, I'd be lying if I'd be completely making it up as opposed to the rest of my answers, which are completely well thought out. I don't know. I mean, I think across the board we've improved. I think Marcus is better. He's playing better. Our offensive line as a unit is playing a little bit better. And then Pharaoh Brown has been tremendous. Just again, a guy that needs to just grow up. He's a young, huge, fast, smart, tough guy, and he just needs to keep playing. Braylon Addison has had a really good spring. Defensively, Wade Kilikipi has been having a tremendous spring. Taylor Hart has done some really good things. Joe Walker has stood out at times, a guy that just is at 100 miles an hour and just trying to figure out which direction and which map, and that's great. He's a guy I had a talk with him the other day. He's a guy that right now he's really close to just breaking through and getting it, and just needs to believe it. When it's check delta and he goes, well, it's delta instead of just delta, let's roll. Just that kind of flipping his switch confidence-wise.
So people want to know, is it really Coach Helfrich on Twitter?
That's good to have that kind of, I don't know what the right word is, anonymity? I don't know who that is. Don't know who that is.
How much will change
handsome guy in the picture.
How much changes once injuries are healed and all the new guys come back from spring to fall, typically?
Say that again.
How much changes as far as depth and personnel, in the sense that right now you got all these guys that are going and you see them in certain spots, but then all the new guys come in, guys come back from injuries.
That's why we compete. I think you don't. I have no idea what that percentage will be, and there are some guys that you assume are going to be able to do certain things that have been here, and the guys coming in, you anticipate them to be great and just kind of hit the ground with their foot on the accelerator and push it, because you don't know what their ceiling is, and so that all shakes itself out.
Coach, do you get a sense that you're filling the positions of the guys you got that left, graduated last year?
I don't know. I think that again remains to be seen. And again, we don't necessarily look at it that way, other than I think from a leadership perspective, yet we lost a lot of great leaders on the defensive side of the ball for sure. And that's something that you can see guys plug and do that. But Byron's practiced hard. D'Anthony's practiced. So at tailback, you see those guys do good things. Yele's practiced really hard. Defensively, those linebackers are working their tails off, but you don't sit there and it's not a direct comparison between Team A and number of tackles and yards and points and all that stuff. So we'll see.
Coach, a lot's been said about the maturity level of this team, and I think it's a testament to that we're not seeing a lot of off the field drama or negative press. And I'm wondering if there's anything that you and your staff do to continue to help promote that.
Well, knock on wood, A, and then B. It's just such an ongoing thing. Everything is everybody is a work in progress. Myself first and foremost, and we try to recruit good guys, good to great guys, and we've got a lot of those guys. We did a football clinic this weekend, and it was awesome. I think they had more fun than the kids out here doing it, and their parents and everybody recognized that, and that's a neat deal. And we want to represent on the field and off the field, and in the classroom certainly, and we're going to do our best every day to do that.
Coach, I believe today's the first day of the new kind of recruiting rules come into play, or it's coming up soon, I believe. Either way, is there, as far as striking a balance between kind of having almost unlimited contact with some of these kids, have you guys thought out a plan to kind of balance that out? And
well, a lot of that stuff did not get passed. So a lot of the drastic changes didn't happen. They're all kind of on hold. And today starts there's a period where you can call the guys one time this time of year. And yes and no. Mm-hmm. Yes, we have a plan. Now with whether it's Facebook or email or something, you can contact guys a lot easier than in the past when it was a 1-800 call ATT and try to get a hold of them and get them one time. But yes, to answer your question.
Were you in favor or not in favor of the unlimited stuff?
I think if I was a great high school player, which I definitely was not, and I was getting recruited, I would not want that. I mean, those guys would get 1,000 text messages a day, literally 1,000 a day, and I just don't think that's quality of life for anybody. So I think everything was a good idea that they kind of went back to the drawing board on some of those things, and we'll cross that bridge and adjust.